I heard you had a question for me. I might be answering it in this video. Anyway, guys, here are questions I'm frequently asked. Anyway, guys, with that said, let's get into the first question. Dude, you just hit 5,000 subscribers. Guys, this is huge. Honestly, guys, thank you guys so much for 5,000 subscribers. Literally, like, I think only a couple months ago we hit 4,000. So, this team, it's rolling. And just guys, thank you so much for the support of my last video. I'm glad that I've been able to be a helpful resource, and that is just, it's nice being able to help my community because I've always have wanted to kind of be able to do this, and I'm at a point in life where I can, and that's just, I'm glad we're building a community here, guys. So thank you. Anyway, but let's actually, get into these questions. When did I know I was trans? Well, little me always had a little inkling and felt different and didn't know why I felt that way. I didn't know why I was different from everyone else. I didn't know why I liked the boy stuff and didn't want the girl toys at McDonald's. And then in 2014, about when I was in the 6th grade, I watched a documentary about trans people, about trans kids, which I think it might have been this one. It was on Netflix. I watched it on my iPod Touch, and I was like, okay, this is connecting some dots. And then I was like, what if I watched almost every video known to man on YouTube.com about trans people? Then I saw the negative society reaction to trans people, and I was like, okay, so I'm scared. Okay, so I'm not gonna think about this anymore. I'm not gonna tell people how I'm feeling. We're just gonna block this out. And then eventually down the line, my discomfort and who I was as a person outweighed my fear, and I was like, I gotta do something about this. I can't keep living like this. And here we are. But I knew for a fact that I was trans in 2020. And I, for a fact, knew that I was a trans man end of 2024. Another thing, why did I medically transition? I know I talk on this channel about that you don't have to be trans, but for me, that's just what I've done to feel more comfortable with myself because there are certain things about myself that I didn't like that would be able to change if I went on HRT and got top surgery. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do those things because that's gonna minimize my gender dysphoria, which, shocker guys, it has. Again, when I first started testosterone, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure this will make me feel better and more comfortable with myself, but if it somehow doesn't, I can stop taking it. And then that never happened. So sometimes it's okay to go with a little bit of a leap of faith, and it's okay to be wrong, but most of the time your gut is correct. Now here's a question that I wouldn't recommend you ask someone, but we're getting to know each other, and that is, what is my real name? I'm not gonna tell you because most of you following me have been following me for a long time and probably already know what it is, or with a few clicks can find out what it is. I will tell you how I chose my name, which is the next question of, how did I choose my name? A lot of the time, I still just go by Steph, which has been a nickname that I've had my entire life. It's always felt most comforting and natural for people to call me that. When I was like, okay, I'm gonna legally change my name, but I don't want my legal name to just be Steph because it does still have a feminine connotation, even though we have Stephen Curry, who, gets called Steph. But I was like, okay, so I like Steph. I didn't like what it was short for, so I was like, I'm gonna change what it's short for. I'm gonna have it be short for Stephen. And then for my middle name, which is Reed, that's actually a family name that came from my grandpa on my father's side, and my old middle name came from my grandmother from my mom's side. And so I wanted the family similarity. I wanted it to honor someone and just kind of keep that tradition. And I like that I'm carrying around a middle name that has significance, that has meaning behind it. Am I sure this isn't just a phase? Guys, I am 100% sure this isn't a phase. I have had these feelings and thoughts for a long time. I've thought about it for a long time. After transitioning, I have been so much more at ease, and this type of peace doesn't come from a phase. Now, this isn't a me-specific question, but more of like a transgender-specific question, and that is like, how do you know what someone's pronouns are? Which, there's a simple way to go about this. Number one, if you're online, most of the time, you can find out someone's pronouns. It's either in the caption of the video, in their username, or in their bio on their account. And then if you're in real life and touching grass, if you genuinely want to know and it's coming from a place of respect, just ask respectfully, just ask politely, and most of the time the person that you're asking will appreciate that you're wanting to genuinely know and want to respect their identity and get to know them. This is similar to 2 questions ago, but do I regret transitioning? No. Did I have the fear that I would? Yes, if I'm being honest, before things happened, I was scared I'd be making the wrong decision, but also that kind of goes for the same for any big decision in my life. I've always been scared that I'll be making the wrong one. So, and it is a big decision. Deciding to transition is a big decision and shouldn't be something just made on the whim. You should put thought into it. You should spend time thinking about it, talking to people and speaking out, talking about your feelings and how you feel. But again, it has been one of the best decisions I have ever made. Now, here's a question you probably shouldn't ask someone, but I know sometimes people just have genuine curiosity, and I'd be honest if I've never wondered this too, but that is, what bathroom do you use? I use the men's room, point blank period. Now, if there is a gender neutral bathroom or a family restroom nearby, I just know there's a more guaranteed fact that I'll get a stall by myself, and I just like the privacy, because what if I'm going number 2? Let me have the peace. So how long did it take for me to see changes on testosterone? Well, the emotional, mental stuff was pretty early on, but physical changes was around the 4 to 6 month mark, where I would take a picture and be like, oh wow, hello handsome, hello good looking. But obviously, like I mentioned in my last video, people experience changes on their own timeline, so that could be different for you. But I feel like for most people, around the 6 month mark is when you can start noticing some physical changes. Now, another question is, did you ever try being okay with being a girl before transitioning? Yes. What do you think was happening when I was suppressing my feelings? What do you think I was trying to do? Now, was I ever good at being feminine? No. I really had to force myself, and even when I had the attempts and had forced myself, oh guys, the 2 instances I can think of was getting my ears pierced on my 13th birthday at Claire's, and then a couple months later hating wearing earrings and being like, this isn't for me, and then letting them close up naturally before the first year mark, which I'll be honest, I kind of wish I let my ears heal to have ears pierced, because guys, I kind of want to wear one hoop in one ear. Who's to say? And then another thing, I remember asking one of my older sisters, hey, I want to start wearing makeup to school. Can you show me how to do that? And that lasted for 2 days. After those 2 days, I was like, this is not for me. This is, oh boy, what am I doing? But yeah, so every time I tried leaning into femininity, it was really forced. It felt really unnatural and uncomfortable. And I've just always been the biggest definition of a tomboy my entire childhood. But anyway, guys, those are gonna be all the questions I'm gonna be answering. And if you still have a question, and even if it's unhinged, please leave it down in the comments and I will be making a part 2. But if you could tell in this video, I have mentioned that I have quite a bit of a complex journey with figuring out my gender identity. And if you wanna hear a lot more about that and how I came to terms with being a trans man, I would suggest watching this video right here. But guys, thank you so much for watching. And again, thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.